Hi, Anita. My first question for you is you've recently joined Fletcher Day. So I was wondering, what is it like? What was it about the firm that's attracted you in the first place to join as a family law partner?
So I think the pandemic has changed a lot of people's views about their work life and family life. But for me, I think last year I got to the point where I really just wanted to go back to doing what I really enjoy, which is helping clients. And I would say over the last 10 years, a lot of my role has been eaten up with management and growing teams and supervising, lots of meetings and lots of the management side of it. So I had a real good think last year about what I actually enjoy about my job, and it is just genuinely helping people and providing a bespoke service. So an opportunity came up with Fletcher Day, and with them, their package was to give me the autonomy that I felt that I was craving. So for me, it's about just really giving that personal service and having that time with my clients. Whereas historically, I felt that I was a lot of the time struggling to find time to give that time to their clients because of all the other management aspects to my roles. So yeah, I think that's the main thing that's attracted me to Fletcher Day. And that's something that right to this point, I've been with them about 5 months, they've certainly delivered on.
So what are the next 12 months at Fletcher Day going to look like for you?
So they are expanding fairly rapidly in London. For me here in Manchester, in terms of the family offering, it's about growth or size is not my key focus. It's about growing a very solutions-based service to clients, and it's very much focused on health and well-being, and also very cost effective for them. So that really is my focus. And if that means it's more people to join my team to offer that and to provide that to clients, then so be it. But it's certainly not a numbers game to grow the number of fee earners. It's more about just growing the offering that we have here and the presence of family law here in the Northwest.
And could you very quickly just tell me about what attracted you to family law in the first place?
Oh, well, there is a very long story behind that, but I will shorten it. I didn't do a law degree. I did a psychology and sociology degree. Really didn't know what I wanted to do when I was at university. But whilst I was doing my social studies and psychology degree, I then took some options off the law degree and then got kind of directed in that route. So when I was training to be a lawyer, I did mainly employment law and personal injury, and thought I was going to specialise in those areas. I was seconded out to a firm of solicitors for 6 months, and that's when I got placed in the family department. And for me, a feeling of dread came over me to actually go into the family department, because my parents separated when I was a child, and just kind of thought it's going to open Pandora's box somewhat. But within 3 days, I knew that I wanted to be a family lawyer. I just enjoyed the interaction with clients, the face-to-face, the mixture of work. And I've now been doing it for 21 years and absolutely love it. And I'm so glad that that's what I chose. But it was very late in my training seat that decision came. It turned out right for me. So.
And what's been the biggest obstacle in your career thus far? That's
Yes, we all face obstacles, don't we? And I would say it's being a full-time working mum. I've had lots of support, and I don't think I would have it any other way, but you really do push yourself. And I'm coming out the other end now, where my 2 boys are now young men, and they tower over me. So they are 18 and 13. So life, I feel, is I now feel I've got more time for me and more to think about really what I want to do with my life personally and professionally. Whereas previously I always felt that I was juggling so many balls at one time. So I think it's that struggle when children are younger, but I wouldn't, if I went back, I would not change one thing, because I think it's made me a much stronger person, and also a much stronger family lawyer.
Absolutely. And I think it is a huge challenge, particularly for women, to have it all. And
Yeah.
feel that you're performing to high standards we set ourselves, you know, as a mum, as a family partner, as a solicitor. It's hard, isn't it?
It is, but it's very rewarding as well at the same time. And I think for my boys, you know, they're really impressed. And they say, "Mum, you know, you put your trainers on and you go out and play football with us and play in the park, but at the same time, you go to court and you do a really, hard job." So I think just to see the respect that they have for me in terms of what I've done with my career is really rewarding, and hopefully that's rubbing off on them. They're not planning to go into law, the older one, but I may have a chance with the younger one.
So both of your sons are teenagers. So if you were to go back, what sort of advice would you give to yourself, your teenage self?
I would say, listen to your elders. I remember being younger and not really listening to my parents and going off on my tangent. Things worked out for me, and you make your mistakes and you learn from them. But yes, I would say, listen to your elders, listen to the teachers around you, your parents, your relatives, and just, seek out those adult relationships to really grow yourself in readiness for going into adulthood, because when I look back and I went away to university at age 18, you have still so much learning to do then. So some mistakes that I've made along the way, if I'd listened to my parents, then maybe that didn't happen, such as, I suppose one example is not studying for my GCSEs and having to do some resits. But harm, and I went to sixth form and resat some of them, and it was fine, in the end. But things like that, my parents nagging me about sitting and doing my studying when I was in secondary school, and I didn't. All I wanted to do was play sport.
What else do you like to do outside of the office?
So walking, running, netball is my thing with sports, but sadly I've not been able to do any netball because of the pandemic, but hopefully later on this year. So I like sewing, I like knitting, and I love reading. So all the way through the pandemic, I was making face masks for all my neighbours and things like that, and little cushions for them, and reading cushions, things like that. So yes, that's what I like doing in my spare time, but I absolutely love reading psychological thrillers, legal dramas, things like that.
Love that. And if you had to invite a few people to your dinner party, who would you invite? Can be famous people or not so famous?
Well, mine are three famous people that have just immediately popped into my mind. So my first would be Nelson Mandela. And I think because of his capacity for forgiveness, and it's something that I try to do a lot of my clients, that they bottle up a lot of hurt and can't move on. And it's about trying to get them to forgive and move on, and then they're going to have the next best chapter of their life. My next one would be Emmeline Pankhurst, a suffragette, and the reason for that is she was born in Moss Side, and that was an area where I was brought up for part of my childhood, which is an infamous socially deprived area, but she succeeded. I have to a certain extent. And then I'd say my final one is, and this is my love of country music, so it'd be Dolly Parton.
That would make
I absolutely adore her. So it kind of comes from my Irish upbringing, both my parents Irish, always listening to Irish and country music within the home and growing up. So yes, anything to do with Dolly Parton, I absolutely love.
Amazing. That sounds like a wonderful dinner party, to be honest. So thank you for spending the last 5 minutes with us.